Okay, so I've seen a lot of requests for like how to start up the default F-4 Phantom in XP11, and I've not seen any tutorials at all on how to start this plane up. So I'm going to go ahead and do one. It took me a little bit to figure it out, but let's go ahead and get started. So the first step, of course, as with any startup, is finding where the battery is. So first we're going to switch the battery on, and it's easiest to see your instruments for the startup, and you'll understand why in a little bit, why it should be like this, to turn your instrument panel lights all the way up, which is what I've just done. So we've got our main battery on and we've got our lights turned up. Then what we're going to do is turn our engine switches on, so our left and right. And then over here you can see the left and right engine generators, and go ahead and just switch all of those on right away. The main problem with starting this up, I think, is just patience, because it seems like it's not going to work, and if you just hit the ignition switches, it seems to kind of heat up and then just die down, but you really just have to hold it down for a really long time before you'll actually be able to see it become alive on your gauges. A way to make this go more quickly, I've found, is if you actually give it some throttle. That's basically like, it almost acts as if like you're adding more fuel to the system, so it cranks faster. And I've kind of set up this view here for you guys so that you can see when I start cranking, you just kind of want to watch these gauges here and here. So I'm going to go ahead and crank the left first. You can kind of hear it going, starting to crank up, but you really don't see any instrument movement for quite a while. So you just kind of have to hold it and wait. And that's really what it is it's just a lot of patience. So you're going to hold it, you're going to hear it heat up, and it's going to die away. And once it goes completely silent, just keep holding it. And now we can see up in the top right, or the top left gauge, fuel flow has started cranking up. And now we can see that our gauges all along the left are starting to go up. And it will go much more slowly than this if you do not have the throttle up. So now we can see everything become alive, and I'm still holding it down, and now I just let go, and now we've got these all up. So now I'm going to go ahead and pull the left throttle back now that it's up and running, and we're going to leave the right throttle forward just to kind of apply gas, and we're going to hold this down for quite a while as well. So you're just going to leave it held down, and this is going to take about the same amount of time. Like I said in the beginning, this is all about patience. And the reason we turned the lights on was just so that it's easier to see. It's pretty hard to see without those backlights on. You really want to watch your gauges in this one. Make sure you are watching this gauge that my cursor is on, especially. That's the first one that moves. There you go. So that one becomes alive. And now I'm still holding it, by the way. I'm still holding the switch down. And now you can see everything else start to crank up. All of those gauges on the right are now starting to crank up. Alrighty. And the engines are now alive. And I'm going to let go of the switch and pull back on the throttle. And come back to our default position. And everything is all set up now. And you're actually ready for takeoff at this point, as you can see. I'm going to go ahead and crank up with the parking brake on just so you can see that they are indeed on. And pull them onto full afterburner. And you can see right there that it is indeed on, and it will take off. So I really think just the main problem, I don't know if this is realistic for a real F4 or not, for how long you have to hold those ignition switches down, but it's actually quite an easy startup sequence. So let me just review. All you have to do is turn the battery on, and then turn these two engine switches on, and then turn these two switches on. So it's really like 5 switches, and then just holding the engine ignition switches. And there we go. That is how you start up the F4 Phantom in the XP11. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.